I had the privilege of speaking at a dad's breakfast on Saturday morning, and I'd like to share some of the stats that I shared with them. So dads, if you are really involved in your kids' lives, then this will be some great affirmation and encouragement to keep going, keep being involved. It is so crucially important. And if dad, you're wondering, how to become more involved, then watch this and stay tuned with other stuff that I'm going to post here, as well as other resources and other websites to get involved with your kids. So take a look at some of these stats that I'm going to say right now, and there's a bunch of them. I'm also going to post them on the blog, so you'll be able to read them later on. But listen to some of these things right now. Half of all children with highly involved fathers in two-parent families reported getting mostly A's through 12th grade, compared to 35.2% in non-resident father families. A study of 1,330 children showed that fathers who are involved on a personal level with their child's schooling increases the likelihood of their child's achievement. When fathers assume a positive role in their child's education, students feel a positive impact. As more fathers become involved in kids' lives, the rates of graduation have increased. Rates of crime, juvenile delinquency, and child abuse subsequently declined. Teenage pregnancy is lower. In fact, according to other studies listed at fathers.com, children with involved fathers have less emotional and behavioral difficulties in adolescence. Teenagers who feel close to their fathers in adolescence go on to have more satisfactory marital relationships. Girls who have a strong relationship with their father during adolescence showed a lack of psychological distress later in life. And let me read you this quote. Nothing can replace the role of a father in a child's life. So if you're a dad and want to become a better one, get informed, stay involved. Get involved in their education, their after-school activities, even their medical care. Your kids' lives are depending upon it. Look, I got these stats from dadsworld.com. 63% of teen suicides come from fatherless homes. 90% of all runaways and homeless children come from fatherless homes. 90%. 80% of rapists come from fatherless homes. 85% of children with behavioral problems come from fatherless homes. 71% of all dropouts. 75% of all adolescent patients in chemical abuse centers come from fatherless homes. Now get this, 85% of kids in jails, in prison, come from fatherless homes. There is no doubt that a father's involvement is so important. Listen to this, daughters of single parents without a father involved are 53% more likely to marry as teenagers, 711% more likely to have children as teenagers, 164% more likely to have premarital birth, and 92% more likely to get divorced themselves. 92% more likely. All right, here we go. Keep going. Stay with me. 91% of 701 the fathers surveyed by the University of Texas at Austin all agreed. So 91% of these 700 dads all agreed that there is a father absence crisis in America right now. And they determined 4 obstacles for fathers to overcome. And this is just, it's crazy. Work demands, obviously, but listen to this. The media. Number 3, pop culture. And number 4, finances. All 4 related somewhat to the American dream, and we'll talk about that later. All right, listen to this quote. Without two parents working together as a team, the child has more difficulty learning the combination of empathy, reciprocity, fairness, and self-command that people ordinarily take for granted. If the child does not learn this at home, society will have to manage his behavior in some other way. He may have to be rehabilitated, incarcerated, or otherwise restrained. I'm going to come back to that in a second. Otherwise restrained. In this case, prisons will substitute for parents. And maybe that's why we're building more prisons and selling more churches nowadays. Children with fathers who are involved are 40% less likely to repeat a grade in school. Children with fathers who are involved are 70% less likely to drop out. Children with fathers who are involved are more likely to get A's. Children with fathers involved are more likely to enjoy school and engage in extracurricular activities. Now listen to this stat. Even in high crime neighborhoods, 90% of children from stable two-parent homes where the father is involved do not become delinquents. Doesn't matter economic status. Doesn't matter what dad has as a job. What's most important is that dad is involved and that mom and dad are involved. Adolescent girls raised in a two-parent home with involved fathers are significantly less likely to be sexually active than girls raised without fathers. There is no doubt the importance of dads. Listen to this. Read through some of these stats, again, on the blog coming up, and find out just how incredibly important the dad's role is for children to grow up in well-adjusted adults. Kids with involved dads are far better in every single measurable category compared to kids whose dads are not involved. Kids need their dads. Children with involved fathers, listen, children with involved fathers are more confident, better able to deal with frustration, better able to gain independence and their own identity, more likely to mature into compassionate adults, more likely to have a high self-esteem, more sociable, more secure, less likely to show signs of depression, less likely to commit suicide, more empathetic. Boys have been shown to be less aggressive, and adolescent girls are less likely to engage in sex. I rest my case. Dad's involvement are so important. I just want to confess, with you that I know sometimes for me, it's frustrating. And I know all these stats and I believe them with my heart. Sometimes it's just hard. It's just hard to give and give and give. We give at work all day. We come home. We just want a break. Dads, I just want to encourage you. Your involvement with your kids is so important. Look, I'm just going to give you one little tip. If you don't do this already, or if you do, great. But I try to make it a point, and sometimes it's so frustrating when I want to get some stuff done, when I'm paying the bills or whatever, but I know it's so important to spend time with my kids before they go to bed, to tuck them in, say a prayer with them, read them a Bible story, and I do that with my boys, and then I come to my girls, and they just cherish this time. They beg me to cuddle with them, to tuck them in. If I forget to pray for some reason, they remind me. My oldest, she's 11. She still wants me to cuddle up next to her, wrap my arms around her, and I can't imagine. I know, and it's hard for me to imagine what that does to my girls. The confidence that it gives them, the security that it gives them. So dads, one way to get involved. Now look, if you've got teenagers, my kids are still young, but if you have teenagers and you're having this hard time connecting, I heard this from Duffy Robbins, a professor of mine, teaching a parenting seminar. Great idea. And I've been telling dads this for years. If you've got a teenage daughter, then give her a back rub at night. Give her a back rub, and I guarantee that she will talk with you during that back rub. Just a great way to show that you care. It's not time to give a lecture, to make a point, but just to listen, to open up, to care. Look, God bless you on this daddy journey, and continue to run that race. Continue to be an involved dad, because I can tell you right now, 30 years from now, when we as dads look back, we're going to cherish those times. And we're going to know that we made a difference as a dad, because frankly, guys, we can't go back in time when it comes to our kids. I mean, we can always make money. We can always pursue the American dream if that's what we want. But right now, our kids need us more than anything. Right now. My wife was telling me that she heard that by age 5, I mean, their moral character, I think age 5 or age 9, their moral character and personalities are developed. Guys, our kids need us. And this is my mission. This is my vision. I hope you're encouraged. And God bless, and keep the journey as we bring faith home.